Rogan's Club.
Oh yeah. What'd you guys think?
It was
awesome. It was awesome.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. So I was there on Saturday.
awesome.
I was lucky. Actually, my dad had an accident and hurt his leg, so I had to go back to Texas because my mom was in India. But I was back there, so I went to go back to help him out just before she could come. And I was happened to be there, and I was flying out of Austin, so I was like, "Hey, man, I'm flying out on Sunday." Like, dude, invited me to the club. Holy shit, it was awesome.
Great.
I've heard it's crazy.
Awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Well, it's fun for me as an audience. I mean, you guys get to perform, right?
Yeah.
Like, I actually get to like take it in and be with the audience. Man, it was fun.
Yeah.
It's just like the Comedy Store.
It
really
is. It is.
Yeah.
It's an amazing thing. Okay, first of all, I was like very against Austin being a possible comedy city.
Interesting.
I just didn't think the math worked out. I was like, there's like 300,000 people. Now I think there might be like 1 million people that live in Austin. It's like
Metro
blowing
area.
up. But like,
You want to pull that up?
initially the
Austin
population
metro
density just wasn't there, in my opinion, for what I thought
Right.
would be there, right? And then an interesting thing happened. Like,
Oh, wow.
what is it?
2.2 million.
So this is crazy, right? Now, interesting thing happens. Austin has 2 million people. It has no professional sports teams.
Yes.
I don't consider the soccer team like a
The
professional
UT
sports
is
team.
massive.
Well, but it's not professional.
Yes.
It's a college team.
Yes.
That's fine, but not professional. The only professional sport they have is comedy.
I was gonna,
Comedy has become the professional sport. Now, add on the fact that there is already a culture of going out to listen to music.
Yeah, live music.
That is how people party. That is how people, you go to the bar, you listen to music. It is normal for them.
and it's always been that way.
And it's always been that way. So it's normal for them to just go out and indulge in live entertainment. You don't have to like train them that that's part of their life. There are some cities where you have to train them. There's a reason why the comedy clubs right now in New York, right? You have the Comedy Cellar, we have the Village Lantern where we were performing at. They're all in the same area. What else happens in that area? There's live entertainment. Right? And so when people were going for live entertainment, maybe I check out comedy, maybe I check out music, right? But training a people that it is normal to go to a comedy show takes fucking time.
Yeah.
That's not quick.
Yeah, Miami, I don't know if they have like a live music scene. Like, let's go out and listen to
But
music.
you guys did well in Miami. I attended that show. I loved it.
It's a little bit different because we're not the average
Okay. Yeah. That makes
kind of
sense.
person, right?
You're not
Like,
starting out at it.
exactly,
Okay.
right? What I would say about Miami is a perfect example. Like Miami is Latin Americans' version of America in the same way that like Hawaii is Asians' version of America. So the things that exist and are popular in Latin America are going to succeed in Miami.
Makes sense.
Baseball, yes, we're into it. Soccer, we're into it.
Yeah, club nights, going out dancing and shit.
Yes.
Basketball,
Right.
Heat games are empty.
Yes.
Because basketball's
It's not part of it.
a cultural
Totally
thing
makes sense.
in Latin America, right? And you'll see the exact same thing happen in Hawaii. So you have this group of people that like going out, they like being entertained. It's like perfect for that, right? You have these clubs that start to get built up, and then you have the biggest name in media that moves there, and he's like, I'm gonna put everything into this fucking club. And he makes this great club. The crazy thing, a lot of people don't even know this about the club. It's like, Rogan's like, I don't even care if it makes money.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He's like, I just wanted to break even.
You can't compete with that.
Yeah, I know.
You can't. It's like, it's he goes, I just want it. I just want it to break even. Think about that.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it to make money. Dude, he won't let me say what it is, but he said I could talk kind of about it. But the way that he's paying comics,
It's bananas.
bro,
Bananas.
it's like, it's just complete game changer. Like, I don't know how the other clubs will react because they're in it to make money.
Yeah.
And he's developed a model where it's like he doesn't want to make
But to
money.
be fair, he's like, I'm still gonna do the Vulcan. I'm still gonna do like Creek in the Cave.
Which is the sweetest thing.
Which is very nice. He does not have
So
to do that.
here's the other. This is the other thing that's crazy. This is. If you work at the club, a lot of people that work at the club are comics. You can check out of your shift to go do a spot, and then come back
in another place.
In another place,
That's wild.
Yeah.
and then come back in.
And the other place can't be mad because Rogan will still perform at your venue.
Yeah. It's
So
literally
if
like
you find
Robin Hood
out-
shit.
yeah.
Yes.
He
So
like
he's-
took money from Spotify and is literally distributing it to comics
good.
in an insane way.
So it's like this crazy kind of situation you haven't even seen before. And now you have all these other, like down the block, there's the Vulcan. Another block away, there's the Creek. There's another comedy club that's coming up a couple blocks. So in this one space, you can pop around and do 5 or 6 spots. Only New York can you do that. You can't do that in LA.
Really? Oh, I guess
LA,
yeah,
you're
to drive.
driving.
It's far.
You're
Yeah.
driving, maybe you make it.
Makes sense.
It's like a trickier thing to do.
You can hit the 3 clubs maybe, and then you're making what, $75 in that night maybe.
Yeah. In perspective, I only did the little room when I went, and I did like 4 shows there, and I made money on the trip on just doing the little room.
Just the
Yeah.
120
Also, Andrew paid
people
for my
or
flight, so that helps.
But even if I wasn't trying to profit on the trips, it's very easy to make money.
So that helps.
Care about
That's a
That
good
helps a lot.
business.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
good
actually not
business.
bad, right? I've been doing this for a while. Yeah, people are getting.
mention that again. I didn't even know he was getting paid to perform. I would have said pay for your own fucking trip down there. What is this about?
Even if I did pay for it, though, I still would have made money. That's the
You did
crazy
a
thing.
Venmo request, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, it was just like, I don't know. He's just creating a fuck. It's just an insane thing to do.
And the way he described it was so cool. He was like, people always think, oh, when you're a kid and you make a bunch of money, you're like, oh, what am I gonna do with it? And you have all these crazy ideas. He literally was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the thing, like, I'm gonna make a comedy club with all my friends and pay them all so well.
I asked him, I was
And
like,
the
dude,
vibe, too, is
how
fun.
did,
Oh, it's
I was
awesome.
like,
Vibe
why
is
have you not been caught up in like just the bitter like jealousy and like rage that so often happens within the entertainment industry? Like it's very like actors fucking hate each other, comedians fucking hate each other. Like how the hell are you just so supportive of everybody? You want everybody to win. And he was like, martial arts. Because he's a very competitive dude.
Right, yeah, oh yeah.
Like Rogan's a fucking insanely competitive dude. But with comedy, he's competitive, but at the same time, he wants everybody to win and everybody succeed. And he's like, it's martial arts. It's like, it's a different thing happens when you're like training with your brothers. You guys are going at it. You're literally trying to tap each other out while at the same time helping each other get better.
Get better, yeah, that makes sense.
And it's like, you can do that with comedy. And that kind of made sense. It was the only thing that made sense why he was this way. You need that instilled in you from another discipline, and you need proof that it works.
Yes.
And you do get better at jiu-jitsu when you're training with a guy that's better than you. And it doesn't take away from that guy's jiu-jitsu. His doesn't get worse because
Right.
you get better.
Yes.
He might even get a little bit better.
Yeah.
And when I kind of saw like that and we explained it like that, I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Both rooms are great. They're great for different reasons. That little room is great because it allows you to develop connection. You can learn how to like lock in with an audience. You're not necessarily just kind of speaking at them. Oftentimes in big rooms, you can get away with just speaking at them, right? You do a theater, you're not connecting, especially if you're a young comic developing in like theaters, like you're not really connecting, right?
Yeah.
There's 3,000 people just laughing at you. When you have 40 people or 100 people, whatever that room is, you gotta look them in the eyes.
Right.
You can't fake them. You can't be a phony in front of a small crowd. And then the big room reminds me of the store, and you learn how to perform. So once you learn how to connect in that little room, now you go to the big room and you learn how to perform. You learn how to fill space. A lot of times people, you know, if you only develop in small rooms, you don't know how to handle a room that has 1,000 seats.
like a cacophony of
Exactly.
Yeah, okay,
It's a
yeah.
different energy. You don't know the breathing of an audience in a room that size. You don't know how to build that tension and then like release it. You know, they're different arts that rarely you're able to do both in a night
That is true. I
and
didn't
able to
even think about
see the
that.
difference in both. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
So a young comic that's going to develop there is going to get like a really well-rounded experience.
Do you
of
think
performance.
this is the death of LA? And also, do you have any other cities where this could happen? Even if there's no Rogan, I have a possible candidate in mind, but not having Rogan could be big.
So death of LA, I don't know. This is what I think. I think once this pay scale is out there in the world,
Which it will happen.
it will. If you're a young comic, are you going to come to New York and toil away in obscurity for 4 years in destitute poverty? And being in New York rich is the shit. Being New York poor,
It's not
Probably
even
so.
America. I've been poor in New York. I swear so many times I was like, this is not America. Like I'm sleep. There's so many fucking mice running by my face. All like, this is not the America my parents were promised.
Yeah.
and for that same money, you were living okay maybe in a part of Texas.
In
Okay.
Texas, in Austin's an expensive city in Texas.
Yes.
You can live a good life.
You can still like
decent
split
life.
a house with some
Decent
guys.
life.
Yeah,
30
it's not
minutes
bad.
out of the city.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a car. You'll have a car out there much easier. So live in a suburb, live in Pflugerville, drive in. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Pflugerville's a place you would know if you were a Texan, but it's like an hour.
Most people who just moved to Austin are like, what, Pflugerville? What?
Yeah.
So you went there?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You drove through it.
Yeah, I drove through it.
You're so much better at Austin.
I'm just a real Texan. So my gripes are from a Texan. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
But the candidate, I think, potentially.
But real quick, just to finish that idea is like, so do you come here and then compete with the best comics in the world for stage time, which is going to be very difficult? or do you go to a new city where the best comics in the world haven't moved there yet, and the new ones haven't developed into it yet? There's stage time and money and 7 clubs without the same level of competition. So if you're a brand new comic, do you go there for 4 years before you come to New York?
Right.
Do you go there for 4 or 5 years before you go to LA and try to be, in sitcoms or whatever the fuck you want to do? Do you learn and develop your craft in this place? To me, I'm like, wow, that is a very intriguing possibility.
But do you think that you guys, like for the whole like iron sharpens iron, like do you think it was better off that you guys came up in Cutthroat, New York?
For me, it was.
Like you made it.
But I think
you guys actually made it, which is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, like.
Yes, but you have to understand, like, most comics aren't going up against iron early in their life. They're at open mics.
I was.
Listen, no, but
Dead ass.
But for real, and you too. And we were lucky we had some people, but like one of the most valuable things we had was barking. And that means handing out tickets in exchange for stage time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that exists to the same level that existed when we were there.
No.
Like it felt like almost every club allowed you to like bark for stage time. The beauty of that is you got to go up with iron.
Yes.
You got to follow a Greer Barnes when you were a year in comedy, and you got to see what is amazing and what is not even fucking close. When you're just doing open mics or you're doing like shows that are like, privately booked shows, you're going up with people around your level, right?
Right.
And living with rats and destitute poverty.
Yes. So it sucks.
So it's like, and like if you're from Indiana, do you come here and just do that for 4 years, or do you go to Austin, develop a little bit of an act, and then when it's ready to go up against some iron, come here?
Or if you get lucky, you're a door guy there, and then you're following Tony Hinchcliffe in the little room.
Well, additionally, because Rogan has got the top thing there, it's gonna foster, I think, ideally, an environment where everybody helps everybody in that martial arts style he talked about.
Yeah.
That didn't exist in New York. I think he helped me a lot. I tried to help as much as I could here, but like,
Well,
that
guys'
was a
situation is
rare
very
thing.
unique, right? Like this right here.
Most of comedy is an isolated, you have blinders on, you just get funny. Austin could potentially be a community where everybody helps everybody and builds everybody
Rogan
else
will
up.
make that happen.
And they are though, bro. I got off stage and like one of the door guys I'd never really met before was like, dude, here's a tag, here's something you could maybe try with that joke. Like it felt very communal.
Yeah.
Because they
He
all
does
identify
that,
as
man.
Mothership guys. They're like, yo, yeah, we are Mothership dudes.
They were all very cool. I got to meet some of them
Yeah.
afterwards. I was like, damn, man. And they're all fucking funny. That's actually the key. I was like, you guys are just funny.
Bro,
like,
there's
it's funny.
hilarious
Like,
guys out there, man.
Dude, Derek, man.
Dude,
Derek's
Derek-
a monster.
I told him before, I was like, dude, that
So
guy,
good.
that episode, the trans episode, man. I was like, I almost
Daisy.
crashed my car.
Daisy. But yeah, no, Derek, I mean, like watching him, he fucking murdered
he was
on this
ripping
show.
it.
He was so fucking
good.
funny.
He
He's
still
so
has,
good.
I won't ruin it, the TSA bit. Which
Oh,
he does.
amazing. Amazing.
It's
That's
so
it.
good.
Amazing.
But yeah, it's just like, seeing a guy like that start. So that's your like up and coming class there. And now those guys, instead of like thugging it out through open mics, not really knowing if the material is going to work for a real audience, now they have sold out shows to go up in front of every single night. So if they're that good now, imagine what happens 2 years from now, 3 years from now. It's like,
And because Joe's not so concerned with making money, he's able to be like, oh, this guy is super talented, but he's not like perfect yet, but let's put him up in the little room a bunch and really like train him and get him good. Because he's not so concerned with like, oh, are people gonna come back? Are they gonna keep paying tickets to come
All
back
right,
to the
off
shows?
his name, they'll be buying it for the next 3 straight years.
Yeah, and he
I'm
doesn't
like,
care.
By the
He-
way, it's funny. I was like, I told my friends, I'm like, I'm going to. They're like, how'd you get tickets? How'd you get in?
nobody
Like,
can get
everybody I
tickets.
know wants to go in. I was like, oh,
Nobody
yeah,
can get
yeah. Like, can I come? I'm like, no, not really. Like, I'm sorry.
and think about it, it's like every weekend a new person pops in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tim Dillon's down there right now.
Timmy's down there with Giannis, right? We're
Shane's
down there
down
during
there.
the week.
Yeah.
Shane's there. Chappelle's popping in. It's like every weekend a new random massive act is just gonna drop in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the appeal of the cellar, anybody could drop in.
Yeah.
The appeal of Joe Rogan's club, anybody could drop
Yes.
in.
And financially it makes sense, and the hang is awesome. Like Joe takes care of everyone. Like you go down there and
It's
like
a sweet bar, the Mitzi's bar.
yeah, downstairs everyone's hanging. It just feels cool.
New York and LA scenes are completely different.
You don't need it like you used to.
But what Rogan has done, and I hope it happens in other industries, but it really just takes somebody willing to do it. And the reality is, in competitive industries like comedy, like news, like anything, you're fighting for what you believe are scraps.
Yes.
So you don't think there's more to go around.
Right.
Right? And that's why there never is anybody who does it.
Yes.
And then the person who's willing to do it, he is novel. Right. And that is why we talk about him, in this way so often in the show. It's just like, it is fucking unique. I wish people knew like what the real comedy world was. It's a lot of like, you're dapping somebody up, you're talking to them, they're talking trash about their best friend right to you.
Yeah.
You're like, I know you guys are friends. Why would you talk about him like that? What are you gonna say about me? Put it this way,
the George Lopez clip didn't surprise probably you
most
either.
People
Definitely, if you're a comic, you're like, that's nothing was.
I'm not.
It's just rare that you see somebody like organized like this and then reward the people that are working hard, the people that are good, and also continuing that culture. Like if there's a selfish motherfucker who's just out there for what they can get out of it and like squashing everybody else, please believe that person is not rewarded. You know what I mean?
Like they're not going to get on. They're not going to get promoted. You guys aren't going to have them on. It's not going to be like a fun thing.